Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Dina and this is the first vlog for my video for the end of October, and today's October 16th. I had mentioned at the very end of my previous video that I uploaded yesterday that I had to fully finish my ornament for my ornament exchange for my retreat that I'm going to in November. And so today I've taken a little time before I start stitching to finish the ornament. It is a petite little thing. I hope the person who gets it appreciates it and doesn't mind it being a small ornament. But I think the stitching is just precious because the Prairie Schooler pattern is so cute. This is the first side, or one side, of the ornament. The little boy with his puppy dog heading off to the house with this little tree. And this is the other side of the ornament. Happy Holidays with the holly across the top and the bottom. I trimmed it with a candy cane striped cord that I actually received on a present recently. And I kept it because I thought this is going to come in handy with my Christmas ornaments. And I believe it has. So this is the hanger for it. It's trimmed all the way around. I just hand stitched it around my little pillow ornament. So happy holidays, and the little boy with his puppy dog. I think it's cute. Anyway, I hope the person who receives it will like it, and I hope they'll enjoy it, even though it is a tiny little thing. I think it's precious, and I'm going to be wrapping it up now to take it to the gift exchange. So for today, that's all I have to share with you. I haven't gotten to stitch yet. I will be starting that in a few minutes, and I will wait and surprise you with what I pick to do. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hi again. Welcome back. This is Dina, and today is Friday, October 19th. And I'm here to give you just a stitching update. I have been working, as I promised, on my Halloween piece this month. And it is called, oh, let me turn that light a little bit. It's called Halloween Tricks, and it is from the Saturday Evening Post. And it's these two very frightened little boys that look like they're almost pigeon-toed. They don't know whether to run or hide or what. Anyway, I think they're precious. And I had set a small goal for myself to get the cross-stitching done on this pumpkin at least down to the page break. I had the hands to do and the pumpkin to do. I had just finished this little boy down to the page break, and I wanted to fill in that hole, which was the pumpkin. And then I said, if I really could get what I wanted to do done for the end of the month, I would do the entire pumpkin. So let me show you how far I got. Here they are. And there's the pumpkin. Now I have not back stitched it yet, but I'll let you see it as close as I can. But you can see I have stitched the two hands, and I've stitched the pumpkin, and I've even come down with the darker color next to the little boy's hand over on this side. And there you go, you can see that a little better. And now I'm ready to back stitch all of that, but I do want to cross stitch below the pumpkin a little bit so that my back stitching, you know, is in the right place and I don't have to go under it when I stitch. So there's back stitching that needs to be done. In the fence, I have not back stitched all the boards yet. And in the little pumpkin, I have not backstitched any of the details there, but all the cross stitching is finished on the pumpkin. So I think the next time I work on this, I will be concentrating on the back stitching and try to get that fence backstitched and the pumpkin backstitched, and anything between those two that I can do, you know, where I've stitched below, then I will do the back stitching so that it's all done as I go. That was my goal on this piece as I go through. So it is only the 19th of October. There is a possibility that I might pick this up yet again and stitch on it on Halloween if we are at home and I'm available to do that. So you may get to see it one more time. I don't know. Not making any promises on that, just that it could happen. I have had a great week of stitching, and I'm ready to move on to a new whip. So I'm a little concerned about my roller frame. It has not arrived. I've emailed the company and asked them to please check on it. I haven't gotten even a shipping notification. So I'm afraid that I may have to get firmer. I may have to go to PayPal and get my money back. I hate that. I've never had to do that before, but I've ordered it, and my PayPal was charged for it, and I've heard nothing. And this is an online store. This isn't just, you know, an individual on Etsy or anything like that. So I'm very disappointed in that. But we'll try again. I may call them next time instead of emailing and see if I get better results in person. In the meantime, I will be picking up another whip, and I will be working on making progress on it. So I hope you're enjoying your stitching. I know I am, and I will talk to you soon. Good night. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today is Monday, and I am here to give you an update on my latest whip. I have been working on Ashley's roses, and if you will recall, when I last worked on it, I had made it a little below the page break on two areas. I had started a little bit of this little plaid here, and on the other side of her dress, over here, a little bit of that plaid as well, with just a little bit of the shading that was going on in that skirt. Just a little bit. So today, and a little bit yesterday, I picked up and did more of that, and I'm going to turn the camera around and I will show you what I got done. So hold on. Okay, here she is on my roller frame, on my stand, my floor stand. And as you can see, instead of just a little tiny bit of this, I have carried that all the way down, and I only have, I think it's one more little stripe over here of a couple of stitches to do, but I haven't worked in those colors quite yet. And instead, I've been concentrating on getting all the shading done. Anything that's not white or a bead. These little holes are for beads. So I started on this side and I worked my way across, and I've come down at least 2 full rows. I think I had this top one done and a few trails this way. So I've done 2 rows across with the shading until you get to about right here. And this is where I'll pick up next time, and I'll do another swath of shading that goes over here. And then I'll be ready to start stitching the white in that skirt for at least that portion. There's a lot of shading in the skirt. It's not all white, which is great. That will make it a little less monotonous as we go along. But I love having it on my floor stand. It makes it easy to grab and work on for a couple of days like I did this time, just because I wanted to get a little more work into it before the end of the month. I am about to stop stitching on my whips. I'm going to look at my new starts that I've been wanting to do to see if I have a small that I would like to work on, because I have a stitching meetup coming up this Saturday and I would like to have something to work on there. So the next time that I film may be showing you my new start. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great October and that you're getting a lot of stitching done. Happy stitching, everyone. Good night. Hello again. It is still Monday, the 22nd of October, and I thought I would just take a minute and share with you what I'm doing to get ready for my new start. Last year at Christmas, my son gave me a kit. He actually gave me 3. This is the first one of them that I'm starting, and it's a start for me so that I can work on this through the Christmas holidays. This is a Jim Shore pattern. It's by Jim Shore Designs, and it doesn't have a name per se. It's just number 5992. I love it though because it's got the 12 Days of Christmas motifs all inside Santa's coat in typical Jim Shore fashion. Looks just like one of his carvings. So I opened this kit tonight to get it ready, and this is what the threads look like. Notice there's no identification on any of them. They're just in a hole. They're not tied in the hole. They're just lying in the hole. So I felt like carrying this around, working with this, put together this way, was not going to be a good solution long term. So I have some punches that I purchased after seeing Mischievous Stitches do her tags, her thread tags. And I went and got the punches to make my own. And I've got some beautiful cardstock paper in various colors. And so what I did is I punched enough of these to make this kit up, and I photocopied the list of colors with the symbol and everything on it. And all I'm doing is cutting out each one with the symbol on it, and I'm putting it on my thread tag with just a piece of clear Scotch tape, and then I am tying the thread on there very similar to the way you find them in the store so that they're secure. And I'm keeping them in the same order that they are on this list, because it's very important, because that's the way the threads are put into the kit, is in the order that's on this list. I checked that first. I'm double checking because it also says on the list, it tells you how many strands of each color there are. So I'm double checking to make sure when I take it off that I have that many and that I'm staying on the right color. So I am making thread drops, and I'm going to put my whole kit on here, and then I'm going to determine if I have fabric big enough for this piece, or if I will need to use the Ada that came in the kit. So that will be my next step. But for now, I just thought you might want to see how I'm taking a copy of the colors, and I'm just making a thread drop for each one, and then I'll have a ring of thread to take with me that will be secure. as I go, and then I'll start my project. I wanted to get this started because I wanted to have a smaller project to take with me for my stitching meetup. It's not exactly that small. It's 4 pages of a pattern. But I have photocopied it to make me a working copy, and I'll be able to mark it as I go, which I like to do. So I'm going to finish my kit now, and I hope you guys have gotten some ideas. Maybe if you get a kit like this and your threads are just looped through the hole, not tied in any way, and see how this metallic is falling out already, then this might give you an idea of how to secure them a little better. Happy stitching, everyone. Good night. Hi, everyone. This is Dina, and I wanted to give you a quick update on my new start that I showed you I was going to be working on. This is, of course, the kit that my son gave me last Christmas called, I did find the name of it, by the way. It's called 12 Days. It is a Jim Shore design, and it is a Designworks kit. It came with the threads, 14 count Aida, and a few beads and a beading needle. But the threads, as I showed you the other night, were, on one piece of cardboard, just looped through the holes with nothing to hold them. And so I did make all my thread drops, and I have got them ready. And so I have been using my thread this way. And so I got started on it. The recommendation in the kit was to start in the middle, and I did that. At first, I traded out my Aida for a 28 count white Lugana that I had in my stash, and so it'll be the same size, but it'll be a little bit smoother look to it. So there's the partridge in a pear tree. There's the 3 pairs. Here's the beginning of the French hen. But I wanted to get this started before my stitching meetup Saturday, so I'd have something new to take with me to work on there. And I felt like I deserved a new start after finishing Craco Christmas 2 and Sleeping Beauty. And so that's what I decided to get started on. I also have a stack of new starts that I have pretty much decided on, I think, for the coming year. And once I determine each date that I'm going to start each one, I'm going to film a little segment for you, and I'll tell you all about it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today is Friday, October 26th, and I spent a good portion of yesterday looking forward to 2019 and my stitching plans in an overview kind of way, not planning what I was going to stitch each day, but planning what I wanted to get started on next year. I'm going to shock some of you. I want to do 12 new starts in 2019. So I figured I would go ahead and pull them, plan them, and make sure I knew exactly which month I was going to start each thing so I can make sure I have my supplies ready. And I thought it might be fun just to share with you my general plans for 2019. As you know, I have several whips going right now. In fact, I have 6. I'm hoping to get either finished with one or close to a finish with one before the end of the year, because I still have 2 months to go. And then I could possibly start 2019 with only 5 whips. Anyway, if as I'm stitching through 2019, I'm going to be stitching on those whips, plus my new ones that I get started, in hoping that I finish a few along the way. Otherwise, I will end the year with 18 whips, and that's so unlike me. But I wanted to get some of these pieces that have been in my stash and some of my newer purchases started. I want to work on them. So here's the plans. Let's get started. I sat down yesterday and went on Facebook and looked through Stitch from Stash, Stitch Mania, and even tried to look in Cross Stitch Finish Line, but I don't think they've posted all their sales for next year yet. So that'll be another piece that I can look at later and add that in here. So you won't hear anything about Cross Stitch Finish Line today, but I'm still going to go back and see if I can't hit some of their sales as well. Okay, so in January, what I would like to start in January is a piece for the winter, and I want it to be coordinated with the Stitch Mania sale. That's the 2019 Christmas sale. And I've noticed it is a year-long sale. It doesn't have a particular day in the month, so any time in the month that I want to start this, it'll qualify for that sale. I kind of like that. So what I'm going to be working on is a Barbra Anna design called Let It Snow. I've seen several floss tubers working on this or doing this, and that enabled me. And I went and bought it because I just love those scissors. And I think that's such a beautiful winter scene. And I even got the Silvery Moon Lugana fabric in 32 count to stitch it on. So there you can see that's on a silvery gray as well. I think that'll be beautiful. It's all DMC threads, so this one is kitted up since I have DMC, and it'll be ready to go whenever I'm ready in January. So that's my January start. February, February is lovely. February, I'm actually working on a piece I have in my stash. I showed it to you when I bought it. It is Simply Love, and it's a Glendon Place pattern. And the fabric that I bought to go with it is a Bashful. It's the color name. And pardon a little bit of crinkling here, and I'll get it out and show it to you. I have it in the same bag, so it's all together. There it is. It is a 28 count. Light pink. It's a little bit lighter than what seems to be on the model, but that's okay. And this one has beautiful silk threads to go with it, and I showed you those when I purchased it, and I'll show it to you again when I start. If I pull it out of here, it'll cause a lot of noise, and that may hurt your ears if you've got on earphones. But this is actually going to qualify. We'll do it up right. This is going to qualify for 2 sales. Try to keep the glare off of it as much as I can. There we go. And those 2 sales, one is in Stitch from Stash, and it's the February Love sale, and it starts February 1st. Then Stitch Mania on February 14th has a Valentine's Day sale. So I very well may start this on the 1st to go with Stitch from Stash and work on it for that day, and then pick it up again on the 14th so I can hit both of those sales. This year, I have not participated in a large number of sales. I've participated in some, but I have had a concentration this year on finishing existing whips. I got a couple done that were long-term things, and a few that I started, this year as well. But this has been a year of finishing whips so that I could get a whole new palette of things to work on, and that's kind of what you're seeing here is the creation of that new palette. In March, I'm going to do a piece that I shared with you when I got it, and this is thanks to a fellow viewer that heard that I was looking for this pattern, found it in her stash, and graciously shared it with me. But it's based on a Bob Timberlake portrait, and it has been adapted or charted by Cathy Livingston from Just Cross Stitch. And this, of course, is a Raggedy Ann and Andy piece. My friend Cheryl, who collects these dolls, but also has a home business distributing collectibles that are Raggedy Ann and Andy. She's the one you see me stitching anything with a Raggedy Ann in it for her. And she told me a couple of years ago, if I ever found a Bob Timberlake pattern, to please get it for her. She loves his portraits and would dearly love to have a piece stitched from it. So I went on a hunt and I found it. So her birthday is in March, and so I'm going to start this on her birthday, or sometime in March, but at least by her birthday, in honor of her. And my hope would be to stitch it in a year and have it for her birthday in 2020. I don't think I could finish it in time for Christmas, but maybe in a year's time I could get it for her next birthday. Okay, so then the one I have for April is for my sister Stephanie. So Stephanie, you have to look away until you hear me tell you it's okay to look back, okay? Promise not to peek. And then I will be very careful not to talk too much about this here. And I'll tell people more about it when I start it. And I'll put it at the end of the video and have you go ahead and exit because I don't want to ruin the surprise. So look away now. You looking away? Okay. This is for my sister Stephanie. I will be starting that on her birthday in April. And when I get to the point of starting it, I'll tell you a whole lot about it. But this right here is a location that's very special to my sister, and so I wanted to do that for her. And it's going to be stitched just as it's charted, same background and everything. Okay, Stephanie, you can look back. Thanks for looking away. Okay, in May there is a sale in Stitch from Stash that Stephanie Kine has put in the Stitch from Stash group. And so this is called Spring Delivery. My good friend Vanna Pfeiffer gifted me this pattern after she stitched it this year. And so I wanted to be sure I got it stitched by next year. And this is one of my big shopping needs because the threads in this are Weeks Dye Works and Gentle Arts Sampler and Gentle Arts Shaker. I don't even know if both of those are still called the same thing anymore. And there's a Classic Colorworks thread in here as well. But my goal is to stitch that in the month of May and use it for the Stitch from Stash Mayflowers sale. And notice there are flowers here and here. So I think it'll fit just fine. So that's my plan for that in May. In June, there's a couple of things going on. One, it's our wedding anniversary. And as you know, this year we have moved to a new community. We moved here in January. And so I'm looking forward to doing something to kind of commemorate our new neighborhood. So what better than a Little House Needleworks, our little neighborhood. I decided to do this to commemorate our anniversary and also the 1-year anniversary of purchasing our home in this new neighborhood because we bought it in June. So this will be a lovely start for that. I already have the specialty threads for it, and the fabric I have selected is one you will be familiar with. It's called Ancient, and mine is a 32 count Lugana, and I'll share it with you. I think that will look so pretty. And notice how it has sort of a pale undertone in the background, sort of a vanilla color. And that's important because I'm using this not only to represent our anniversary of living here in our new neighborhood, but I'm also using it for a Stitch Mania sale for Color a Day. And the color is vanilla. It's supposed to look like a vanilla milkshake. And I felt like the background in here did sort of look vanilla-y. And there are a couple of vanilla looking pieces in here, and I'll try to stitch on that. But anyway, that's what I'm going to put this on. Ancient Little House Neighborhood. That'll be my June start. And then in July, I know most people will think a patriotic piece, and I very well may do a patriotic piece as well, but my new start is going to be a Christmas in July theme. And I'm going to pick up and do a piece I wanted to start this year and haven't had the time to start. I've had this in my stash for years. Been wanting to start it. I've been looking for fabric for a long time. Can't decide what I want to do it on. I couldn't decide if I wanted a hand-dyed fabric or if I just wanted a plain off-white creamy fabric so that the snow shows up just the way that it does. And I think that's what I'm going to go with. So this is Christmas in July, and it will be probably the piece I work on for the Christmas sale, the year-long sale in Stitch Mania for that month. But that will be an unusual start in July, and I'm looking forward to that. Then we get to August, and August is just wonderfully fun because I'm not doing this for any stitch along. I'm doing it simply because it's my son's birthday in August, and he gifted this pattern to me at Christmas, and I've been wanting to start it, and I haven't had a good time to look at it. So this is called Stitching ABCs. It's a design work kit. It is so just precious. I love the colors. They are beautiful, but they're not harsh, and I like that a lot. Everything's in it. It's a kit. It came with, of course, Ada, and I'll make the decision before I start it if I'm going to stitch it on the Ada or if I'm going to stitch it on something else. But because it looks a little bit like a rustic design, I'm thinking Ada would be good. I kind of like that. But this is for my son's birthday start in August. Then we get to September. September is fun. September is going to be for Stitch Mania's Key Lime Pie Sal. And it's another color sal, and you're supposed to work on something that's green. Well, September's also autumn. So I picked up something I've had in my stash for a while. This was also gifted to me by a viewer, and this is the Autumn Arbor. There are 4 of these in a series, and by the Drawn Thread, and I have all 4 of them. So this will be the first one I get to start. Now, this is an interesting piece. It calls for khaki or natural linen, but I have pulled out a different color, and I will have to do some putting the floss on the fabric just to see if it's going to be okay. But this is called Rue Green. It's a Quaker fabric. It's 28 count linen. I bought it at Dixie Darling years ago and been holding it in my stash. But I think that would make a beautiful background for this piece. But I've got to look and make sure all the threads look great on it. Now here's the other thing I've done. I spent quite a bit of time this morning on the website for these threads because it calls for needlepoint ink silks, Gloriana hand-dyed silks, and special beads by SJ Designs. They're 15.0 beads. They're not the typical small seed beads. Anyway, I ordered the beads already, and I looked at the Gloriana hand-dyed silks, and 2 of them were highly variegated, beautiful threads. One is Spanish Moss, and the other one is Autumn Arbor, if you get a chance to look those up. Gorgeous variations. So I've ordered them as well. But the needlepoint silks, I went and took my DMC card and pulled them up on the computer and, you know, got them as big as I could so I could compare the 2. And I've made my own conversion. And so before I start this piece on this green fabric, this Rue Green, I will put my floss everywhere on it and make sure it's going to look really good on here before I get started. But this is going to be my September start for the Mania Key Lime Pie Sale, and that's on the 28th. So it'll be way to the end of the month before I get it started. but, or I could at least work on it that day if I started before. So that's the Autumn Arbor by the Drawn Thread. I think that's going to be beautiful. I'm looking forward to that. Then I have a piece that I've been wanting to start for over a year. I tried to get some fabric from Silk Weaver, and I had actually Katrina Boyd tried to get it for me. She ordered it from them and followed up time and time again. She never got it. So instead, she, at the last retreat in August, she had fabric there, and she also had a vendor there with fabric, and Leslie from Under the Sea Fabrics. And this fabric is what I came up with, and I think it's going to be okay. It's not quite as dark as what they use here, but I want all my colors to really show. So I'm going to use this more like a early morning sky or an early evening sky instead of the middle of the night. But unless I find something I like better on my retreat, I will still be looking. Anyway, this is Sleepy Hollow by Glendon Place. Many of you have seen this done. So I will be starting this in October. The October, there's also a year-long sale in Stitch Mania that's called the Halloween sale. And up until October of 2019, I will be stitching on either my Halloween tricks until I finish it, and then I may not participate in the Halloween sale again until October 1st when I start this. So, Sleepy Hollow. Then on October 31st, Stitch Mania also has another Halloween sale, and it's actually called Happy Halloween, and it is on the 31st. So my plan is to stitch on this for both of those sales in October. So I plan on using DMC thread for this, and do that in October. In November, it's starting to hit Christmas, and I start wanting to stitch Christmas things. So I have had this in my stash for a while. And this is called Christmas Garden by Blackbird Designs. Some of you have stitched it already. It is absolutely the prettiest sampler I think I've ever seen. This is the sampler that I want to do. I have my threads. I have the same color fabric, just a plain fabric. It's actually platinum, and it's in 28 count linen. So there is a, all year long Christmas sale in Stitch Mania. So in November, this is what I plan to start for that Christmas sale. I'm so looking forward to it. And then for December, not only is there the 2019 Christmas sale, and that month it's, the focus is Y, the letter Y for youth. In fact, I forgot to mention that in the Christmas sale in Stitch Mania, they're spelling out a word. And so for the one in December, it's Y is for youth. So these are youth. These are small children. This is the Mirabilia pattern Crystal Christmas, designed by Nora Corbett. And this one I'm going to be doing on the Silk Weaver fabric that I've been holding in my stash for a couple of years now. Isn't this beautiful? And don't you think this will look gorgeous on that? I think so. I am going to find you the label so that I can tell you what this fabric is. Here we are. It is a 32 count Lagana, and it's called Pixie Dust. Isn't that beautiful? Just beautiful. I mean, everywhere you look, it's just a little different. The lovely part about it is I won't use all of this fabric on this pattern. I will get to have a little piece left over. I actually considered putting those snow angels on here too, because I think they would look beautiful. But since they're lying in the snow, I just wanted it to be a little more snow-like, I guess. Anyway, this will be my December start. Not only for the Christmas sale, but for my birthday. My birthday's in December. So this will be my birthday start, and I will probably start it on my birthday. So, there you go. Those are the 12 starts I have planned for next year. I hope that that has been of interest to you, and that if you've seen something you like and you want to stitch it with me, you know, jot down when I'm going to start. Let me know you want to do a stitch along together, and be glad to have you stitch it with me. Some of those are older patterns, I know. Some of those are newer patterns. So it's a good variety, a good mix. Different designers, and that gives me some variety in what I'm working on. And so I will enjoy that very much. In addition to these 12 starts, you know, I'm going to be finishing my Little House Needleworks Little Sheep Virtues. I do one of those each month on my Afghan. And that is one of the whips that if I wanted to double up and do more than one in a month, I might be able to finish those pretty early next year. So, you know, I'll look at that and see what I want to do, or if I just want to let it roll along, you know, because it'll naturally take its course. And within a few months, it'll be done. And that'll be one whip I know that I'll get to finish. So that'll be all right. Anyway, it is October 26th. Tomorrow I have a stitching meetup at the library, and I'll take a couple of things with me to work on. And then all the way up through October 31st, my plan is to work on Halloween tricks, try to get some of that back stitching done, and then I'll show that to you hopefully at the very end of this video. And that'll be the end of my October report, and I'll start looking at November and see what do I want to concentrate on in November to prepare me for this year of starts. For me, that's a year of starts. So I hope you've enjoyed my little tour of my plans for 2019, and I hope that as time goes along, you'll start thinking ahead of what you want to do, and maybe go through your stash and pull forward some of those things you've been, you know, holding on to, knowing you want to do someday, and let's get them started. Happy stitching, everyone. Bye. Hello, everyone. This is Dina. Welcome back again. Today is Saturday, October 27th. Oh, it's been a fabulous day today. It always is when I get to meet with other stitchers. We had our stitching meetup today at the library here in Gainesville, Georgia. And we had 14 of us there stitching and sharing ideas and seeing what each other was working on. And there were 7 pieces of framed cross stitch that people brought in to be displayed in the library in the months of November and December. And I have one more piece to take, my Firefly Fairies. I forgot it this morning, so that'll make number 8, which is what our librarian was hoping to get. So thank you to each of you who brought artwork pieces, framed pieces that will be displayed in our library. The hope there, of course, is that it will catch people's eye, and they may look at what they see and say, look at this beautiful artwork. What is this? And then maybe we'll spur some interest in cross-stitching, you know, in someone new. So today was also a treat because there were 5 new people there that I hadn't met before. and they are fairly local. One lady did drive all the way up from Warner Robins, Georgia. She had never been able to hit a stitching meetup when I lived in Macon and had them there, and she had always wanted to meet people and come stitch with us, and her work schedule never meshed with when we were getting together. She actually got to come today, and I am so grateful to Jennifer for driving so far and coming to stitch with us. I have a couple other things to tell you too. There were homemade cookies. There were wonderful bakery items brought in for us to enjoy. And a large number of the group went to lunch together again. And I just think it was a wonderful time of visiting and getting to know each other better. And then I had a really big surprise. And Jennifer, you really shouldn't have, but I am so delighted that you did. Look at this beautiful bag. This is just a beautiful tote bag. It's not just a tote bag though. This beautiful bag is the wrapping to a present that was brought today. This present was from someone who watches my channel, and I didn't get her permission to say her name, but you know who you are, and I really, really thank you for this. This is what I got. Dogwood lace. And not only the pattern, fabric and threads. I was blown away. I really was. I don't know what to say. Thank you very much for being so kind and so thoughtful. And the packaging is just as beautiful. And that was homemade. The packaging was made for this present. And so please thank your mom for making that for me. So I wanted to share that with you today. So give me a minute to put this down. Okay, now, a couple of other things today. Stitchers are the most helpful, enabling people that you will ever meet. And today, I just made a mention of the fact that I would love to do a Biscornu, and that I had not found any patterns that I had liked yet for Biscornus. So Donna Stitt from D Squared, she was sitting next to me today, and she said, "Oh, you need to go on creativepoppy.com. They've got great Biscornu patterns." They did. So as I'm sitting there stitching, I take a break and I go on my telephone and I'm, pulling it up and I'm looking, and ooh la la, they're instant downloads. So this is one of them I got. These are Christmas presents, Christmas ornaments, and then the Christmas holly on there. And I am going to be making this for a gift. And I'm going to be doing it on, picture this plus fabric called Velt, V-E-L-D-T. It's a 28 count. That's what I'm going to use. It is a linen. And I'm going to use these 3 colors. So I'll be making one of those for a gift, and I'll be working on that in just a few minutes, getting started. And then after I make that gift, another Biscornu is going to be made quickly, and that one is for me. Isn't that cute? I just love it. I haven't pulled the fabric or threads for that one yet because I can make that whenever. But the gift that I want to make, I need right away. So I'll be working on that in just a few minutes. So I just wanted to stop in really quick and share with you that information about our stitching meetup. I did work on my Halloween tricks today, and instead of doing back stitching where I had to really watch the pattern and calculate so closely, I decided to go ahead and just continue stitching on down the front of the pattern, and I just started working on a pair of the pants on one of the little boys. And I got some done, but not a lot, because I talked a lot and visited a lot and had a great time. So I hope you're all having a great time stitching. By the time you see this, it should be over. But my husband and I are leaving town tomorrow right after church, and we will be going to our former hometown to hopefully close on the sale of our home. That's right. I will be sure and let you know if everything goes well, because we certainly are hoping that it does. We've had the word from our agent that we're cleared to close. So hopefully nothing else will, not work. But so next I speak with you, I hope to be able to tell you that it was a successful closing and that chapter has been closed. So in the meantime, till I talk to you again, happy stitching. Bye. Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, October 30th, and I wanted just to show you my finish on my Biscornu. I was able to finish it last night, and this is it. Isn't that delightful? I love these little shapes. I've never made one before, so this is not perfect. It's a learning experience. But this is the little ornament. Here's the little 4 presents. It has the little 3 on each corner. And then on the back side, so cute, has 1 little present and Merry Christmas. Isn't that precious? Anyway, it's just a little Christmas tree ornament size. And I did turn this one on the point, as I said I thought I would. I think that gives it a good interest as it's hanging on the tree. And then as it turns around, that's at the right size, or the right position, so you can read it. Anyway, there's my first Biscornu. I'll be wrapping this up and getting it ready to present to the person I made it for. And hopefully I'll either have a picture of that later on another video, or I can tell you about it. So this is going to be my last video for this month. I am going to be packing today and tomorrow for my trip to my retreat. And then I have a couple of appointments and things I have to get taken care of this week. So I probably wouldn't stitch enough on any one thing to share it with you going forward. So I'm going to wrap it up here. And remember, there'll be pictures and things at the end. But I hope you guys have a great remainder of the month. Have a happy Halloween tomorrow. And I'll see you next time. Happy stitching. Bye. Piece I want to talk about, but I'm going to have to ask my sister Stephanie to say goodbye. I will, I've put this purposely at the end of the video, so you won't miss anything else. There won't be anything after this. So I want to show something that you can't see yet till after Christmas. So bye. Okay, those of you who can stay with me, I decided that my sister Stephanie has a new family member. She has a new puppy, and it's a rescue situation, and I think her niece tried to rescue this puppy and was able to keep it for a little while, and determined that he was very unhappy being alone all day while she was at work. She was unhappy to leave the puppy alone all day, and it turned out my sister Stephanie decided to adopt the dog from her niece. So she has a miniature black poodle now, and his name is Ellis. And a couple of years back, I made Christmas tree ornaments that represented each member of my sister's family as her gift for Christmas. And I shared those with you. And so Ellis, of course, has to have an ornament. So part of Christmas this year will be the Ellis ornament. So I kept looking for poodles, and my sister Stephanie has had Ellis groomed a time or two, but I don't know that they've actually got his cut the way they want it yet. So I didn't want to do a full-bodied poodle and have the wrong body shape with the wrong cut of hairstyle. So I decided a face would be good enough, just to represent Ellis. So I looked through patterns that I had, and I found a working copy of a pattern, and I'm sorry I don't know the name of it because all I have is a working copy of it. But I had it just stuck away in a bunch of my old patterns, and I thought this is perfect. So I went ahead and stitched it up. This is little Ellis. So here's his ornament for this year. And I was able to find a scrap of the backing fabric that I used for all the other ornaments that I had made before. And I took, since there are poinsettias on the back, I put a little poinsettia button on the front to add some color, because I did this just in a black and white silhouette. And I put some beautiful red and white twine that I had left over, and I put that around it just to give it a tiny bit of color on the front and to tie into the colors on the back. So this is Ellis's ornament. So this is another finish I've had this week, and I hope you enjoyed seeing it. I'm sorry I don't know the name of the pattern, but I just thought it was cute, and wanted to do that for her. So that's all I have for you. That'll be the end of this video, and next time I see you, I will have been to my retreat in Sevierville, Tennessee, and I'll try to put some footage in there to show you what that looks like and how much fun we had. So I'm looking forward to that. Happy stitching, everyone.